They said he killed his father for money. That was the sentence on everyone's lips in Umidike. The wind seemed to carry it from compound to compound, and the mango trees whispered it when no one was around. In the village where people measured your worth by your last name and how many goats you owned, the sudden rise of Chinedu Madu didn't sit well with anyone. Chinedu was the fifth of 6 children, born into a life no one would envy. His family lived in a crumbling mud house with a leaking zinc roof that roared like thunder whenever it rained. Hunger was their neighbor. Misery, their daily companion. His father, Pomadu, was a well-known figure in the village, not because of wealth or prestige, but because of how hard he worked for so little. A man of discipline and pride, Pomadu refused to beg. He farmed from dawn till dusk and still came home to make sure his children read what little borrowed school books they had. Chinedu, unlike his siblings, refused to accept that his life had to be defined by suffering. From the time he was 14, he had dreams, wild ones. He would sit under the mango tree behind their house, holding his old technophone to the sky, praying for a bar of signal so he could download free PDFs and watch motivational videos on YouTube. He would fix broken radios, fetch water for old women for small change, and still show up in the cyber cafe on Saturdays to apply for online grants, scholarships, and sometimes, lotteries. Villagers laughed at him. "You think Oyabo money is for people like you?" they would mock. "Better go and learn how to climb palm trees like your father." But Chinedu kept going. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. He came back from the city after a short visit, wearing clean jeans, new sneakers, and holding a phone that didn't have a cracked screen. The first thing he did was give money to Mama Nkechi, the woman who once gave him free gari when he fainted from hunger. Then he brought food items to the church and paid for 10 children's WEC fees. The whispers began. Where did Chinedu get money from? A week later, he bought a fairly used Toyota Corolla. Then, people stopped whispering and started accusing. They said no one could go from poverty to comfort overnight unless something evil was involved. Then the worst happened. Pomadu, his father, collapsed one evening after complaining of chest pain. Chinedu rushed him to the local health center, but there was no oxygen, no equipment, no doctor, only a sleepy nurse who advised them to take him to the city. By the time they arrived at the teaching hospital, he was dead. That very night, the rumors exploded like wildfire. He killed his father. He has finally used the old man for rituals. Money doesn't come from nowhere. This is Africa. The village elders called for a meeting. The once loving villagers became cold, some outright hostile. Children pointed at Chinedu in the market and called him ritualist. He tried to speak up, but no one wanted to listen. One night, he heard a knock on his window. It was Emeka, his childhood friend. "Guy, you have to be careful," Emeka whispered. "They are planning to take you to the shrine. I overheard some elders saying you must swear before Amedioha that you didn't kill your father." Chinedu's heart dropped. The shrine. In Umidike, no one came back from that place the same. He had heard stories of people confessing to crimes they never committed, possessed by something dark, and driven mad. He barely slept that night. Thunder roared above the clouds, and the wind howled like spirits looking for peace. In the corner of the room where his father once laid, a candle flickered. The shadows on the wall looked like hands reaching for him. The next morning, they came for him. A group of elders, along with 2 native doctors, marched into his compound, demanding that he follow them. Women stood around the compound, clapping their hands and shouting, "Let the truth be known. Blood money must not rest." As they dragged him towards the shrine at the edge of the forest, something deep in Chinedu broke. He screamed, "I didn't kill my father." They ignored him. The shrine was an eerie place. The air felt thicker there, like something invisible watched you. Skulls lined the entrance. The trees stood tall and silent. Inside, there were red clothes, burnt offerings, and a wooden idol with eyes carved so deeply it looked like they moved. He was told to kneel. The priest raised a calabash of goat blood, chanting. Then, out of nowhere, Emeka burst into the shrine, panting, phone in hand. "Wait," he shouted. "I have proof. He didn't kill anyone." Confusion swept through the crowd. Emeka held up the phone and showed them the emails, the online lottery platform Chinedu had signed up for, the screenshot of his winning message, the bank alert that came after weeks of verification. He even showed them the 200 Nigerian Nairas transfer Chinedu had made to him months ago to help buy the ticket. A deep silence fell over the crowd. The priest stopped chanting. The elders looked at one another, embarrassed. A few people started to murmur apologies. But it didn't matter anymore. Chinedu stood up, face soaked in tears, not from fear, but from pain. "You people wanted to kill me because I worked hard and got lucky," he said, voice shaking. "You were ready to erase my years of suffering and learning just to feed your gossip." He walked away that day, not just from the shrine, but from the village. Years passed. Chinedu became a businessman, running his poultry and online consulting firm. He built a school in his father's name and helped sponsor a clean water project for Umidike. Still, some villagers never looked him in the eye. Guilt has a way of avoiding the people it hurts. But every Christmas, he returned, with quiet dignity. He would stand at his father's grave and whisper, "They'll never understand. But you would have." And that was enough for him. Because sometimes, the most unbelievable success stories aren't built on blood. They are built on persistence, pain, and a little bit of luck.